Yeah, get that out of the way.
Go. Yeah,
Hi.
get the get that out of the way. Get that out of the way,
Uh,
man.
yeah. Ugh. Ugh,
Welcome,
now that we started,
guys.
I can finally stretch.
Yes.
Highly
Uh,
relaxed now.
Perfect. All right, welcome. Welcome, guys, to Don't Worry Wednesday. Uh it's December.
Mm-hmm.
It's after Thanksgiving.
Oh man,
I
Joe's
know.
favorite
I
holiday
know.
is come and gone.
I know. It's sad that Thanksgiving has to end every year.
That's great. Said it has to end every year. That's that's a comment. Does have to come to a close every year. That's right.
Yep,
It's only one
every
day long.
it
It's not like a
is, man.
season.
I
It's
know.
not like it's not like Easter or Christmas,
Mhm.
where it's a whole 50 days and so on.
Right. Yeah, see that, but see a lot of people don't reckon if you're not Catholic, then
Mm.
Easter is just like one day,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
That's silly. It
Right.
kind of when you have like when you're Catholic and you have such a like a long holiday season,
Mhm.
kind of makes the other holidays that are just like one day go like, what's that? What's the point
Right.
of that? Like, what are you gonna do in one day? Come on.
Yep. Cuz Christmas is what, 8 days? This
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas is
Is that
8
right?
days, Easter is like 50 days,
50. Yeah.
something, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
40 or I don't know. It's a lot.
Mm.
Yeah.
It is.
So what's up, Itsunagi, Jimmy, Mianglios, Moonlit? It's great to see you guys.
Hey, Millet. Yeah.
And whoever else is here lurking, feel free to announce yourself in the chat if you'd like. If you'd like to not, you can keep lurking, and we're still gonna love you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll
Mm-hmm.
still be all right with you.
Yep.
You know.
We still think you're pretty
Uh,
darn cool.
yeah.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is the show that is about you guys and your topics that you feed us. You can send them in the
Thanks you.
chat. You can go to don'tworrywednesday.com and click the submit a topic button and submit your topic there. And we should get it. I know we've had some trouble in the past with some people. It seems like on mobile there might be a few more challenges than on a
That might be the
computer.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, most people it seems to work pretty good. So go for it. If you're having trouble and you'd like
Mm-hmm.
to send us a topic, just let us know in the chat or hit us up on Discord or something. We'd be
Mm-hmm.
happy.
Yeah,
We'd
that
be
would
happy
work.
to talk to you. Um. So, wait, what? Hero says your favorite is the Easter octave, where you're not allowed to get angry at anyone for 8 days after Easter. What? I did not know that.
I didn't know about this one. Wait. I do know about the Easter octave, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know about the you're not allowed to get angry at anybody. That's pretty great. I
Bro,
feel like I feel like I've heard of that before, but now I've forgotten it.
I'm in trouble.
Oh, you get you're like I've been angry at people on Easter.
Dude, I'm always angry. Like,
Uh-oh. But are you angry at people or are you angry at things?
um, yes.
Both. Okay. Well, there you have it.
Oh, I see, Hero. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, Moonlit, I'm with you. I think
oh.
I failed this year, a lot of other years, every year. You know, if that's a rule, I fail at it. But all right. Oh, it's just supposed
It
to be
wasn't a
about
rule.
being
Okay.
joyful.
If one of your priests put it that way. Okay, that makes sense.
I see.
That's funny.
Well, I'd be like going to talk to the priest. I'd be mad at your priest for saying
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
If my priest said that,
You
I'd be
see him after.
like, dude, I'd go traipsing up to him after mass, and I'd just be like,
Yes, I was about to
listen.
say you see him right after mass. Like, sir, father, I
Do I need to go to
failed you.
confession
I was,
again? He's like, yes,
the
Joe, I
fact that you said
expect to see
pride
you.
couldn't get angry made me angry, and now here we are
Right.
again. I have failed instantly upon the
Instant.
very message that proclaimed it.
Yep, exactly. That would be how it is. And I'd probably go. Because you walk out. If you walk out and then you shake the priest's hand, sometimes priests will be, at the door as
Mm-hmm.
people leave and shaking hands and stuff like that. I'd give them the handshake that some guys give. Did you ever have the hand breaker handshake where they just like
Oh yeah, yeah.
squeeze your
That's
hand and
ridiculous.
it's just like
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. It's funny because some people never grow out of that, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll have like a 80-year-old, he'll grab your hand and be like, I'm gonna crush it. And we're like,
You're like,
why? Why? You're 80. Let me do that to you. You'll be unhappy.
yeah, your bones are probably more brittle than
Your
mine.
bone
Like
will
I'll break
break.
them.
Yeah. You're gonna break your own bones doing that to my hand. Stop it.
Yeah, Nyansai, you're right. That's right. People think it's some kind of power move to handshake like that. I think you're right. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people just do it because they have a strong grip, and so they just do it, right? But
Yeah.
then some people they
Mm-hmm.
do it and then they give you the look.
Oh yeah, right.
They raise their left eyebrow at you.
Mm-hmm. I think I've met a lot of farmers who squeeze hard, but they're like, my father taught me how to like when you shake your hand, like give it some gusto. If you, I couldn't think
Mm,
of a better word, but
mm-hmm,
yeah, you gotta give it some power. But it's
mm-hmm.
not about being strong. It's about like being firm and like being like strict and um, what's the word? Um, anyways, it's kind of like a old-fashioned way of being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah. Like this
And
old-fashioned pride, I guess.
that old fashioned discipline, pride,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
full of energy, full
yeah,
of vigor, you know,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Vigor. Yeah, that's a good word. Hmm.
Well,
But
well,
yeah, I think
well.
definitely some people use it as a power move for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's not it's silly. I like especially young people.
Jono.
See you two people. What? We're always the people. I love that, Jono. You're great. What
I love it.
were the chances?
What are the chances? Just us two.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Wait, my camera's
Hey,
doing
Jono.
something funky. It's good to see you, Jono.
Hmm.
You get a cool crown. Let's go.
Wow. Yeah.
Wait, it has to be at
Dang.
least 90%. 90% of what? Wait.
Of people that do a handshake for power move or
Or
90% of something?
90% chances to see us two.
Oh, yeah, right. That would make sense. That works. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, both of us are here. I think it's probably 98%,
Yeah,
if you do our entire track record.
that's true. That's true. Because normally it's us, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so yeah,
Yeah,
so
we got a pretty
guys,
good
it's
track.
great to see you all. It's great to be here. Um, I'll give the disclaimer: we are not professional therapists. We're not professional doctors, lawyers, attorneys. Well, attorneys and lawyers are kind of the same thing.
Ontologists.
Ontologists.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Proctologists.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Moctologists.
What's a moctologist?
A mixologist,
A
but
mixologist?
they only make mocktails.
Instead of cocktails? They make
That's right.
mocktails? Is that
So
like a
a mixologist makes cocktails. A moctologist makes mocktails.
a mixologist makes cocktails?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh. My, my, dude, don't make my brain go
I
to
don't.
weird places.
I will try to refrain from making your brain do anything
yeah, my
out of
brain.
my control completely.
yes. Wait, we might be professional dinosaurs. What? Moonlit.
Ooh, dinologists.
If you were going to be a dinosaur, here we go, chat. If you were going to be a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
Ooh, chicken.
A chicken. Is a chicken a dinosaur?
I think that's what everyone's trying to been telling me over the past like 20 years. Chicken.
What?
Chickens, do they have it made? You know,
What?
some of them not. Some of them don't have it made at all.
Jono, I recognize one of those dinosaurs in there. Like every other dinosaur name I do not recognize.
Dang. Wow, John knows his dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Noises. You meant next. Whoops. A common mistake. It's okay.
You know,
Next you make noises.
I've never met a dinosaur. However, I do tend to believe that they probably had made loud noises.
Well,
wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if the Tyrannosaurus Rex like meowed like a kitten or something?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I imagine, okay, so if everyone says that they were actually birds, then maybe they would just squawk like geese or something.
If who was a dinosaur?
All the dinosaurs would just squawk like geese because
Oh.
they apparently were like birds or something.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's saying.
Phylogenetically speaking, and literally, birds are dinosaurs. Yeah.
Dinosaurs. Okay, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to be a dinosaur that could fly.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Same.
So,
like a
pterodactyl would be pretty
that's,
awesome.
That's the one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are lots more flying dinosaurs than a pterodactyl, but
yeah. Well, the long neck.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that one was.
That's
what was the long neck one name?
Brontosaurus and Brachiosaurus both had.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They probably had little tiny chicken wings, you know. They couldn't fly with them, but they could flap them.
They could flap them.
Yeah. You know, T-Rex with his little arms and the Brontosaurus with its little tiny, like, wings width of your finger.
Yeah. Dang, Jono, you're really smart when it comes to dinosaurs.
Hummingbird.
You're pretty smart anyway.
Oh, hummingbird would be pretty fun. Yeah.
The more I learn about Jono, the more I learn how smart he is.
Sauropods. There you go. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I know. My dinosaur knowledge is very little.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I got the bird thing right. I think. I don't know.
Actually, better than meowing like a kitten if a Tyrannosaurus mooed.
Wow.
Like a cow.
Well, I could see that. Yeah, I could see it.
But the really not like an aggressive moo, like a lazy old cow move, like moo.
Moo. There you go. Wow, Joe, you've got the animal sounds down today.
Dude, I didn't grow up on a farm, but my dad did, and so like when we'd go visit his family, you know, like this farm, and there's always like tons of cows around, and it always smelled like cow poop.
Makes sense.
Which is kind of normal.
Yeah. So are alligators and crocodiles not dinosaurs? But they're from the Jurassic period?
I think they've been around since then, and maybe tortoises? Maybe?
Yeah, tortoises as well. Now, arachnids have been around since before the Jurassic period. They've been around for Paleolithic period, maybe even before that. Whatever it is, I don't remember the names of the periods. But anyways, yeah, arachnids, spiders.
They're survivors,
man. They outlast the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
but they looked a bit different back then.
Oh.
Scorpion, I think, the scorpion is an older version of an arachnid than our common day spiders, I think. But I could be wrong. I think the weird one that looks like an ant. There's this weird arachnid that's in the desert that looks like a really weird ant. And that thing is really old. Anyways.
Cool.
Yeah. Here we are. Norway Wednesday. Welcome. We are professionals, clearly.
The things you learn. Yes, you like them because they're big and awesome. Yes. They are
Hmm.
big and awesome,
Especially chickens.
especially chickens. And chickens taste great. I ate chicken
Yeah,
today. Mm,
nice. Good
it was
choice.
wonderful. Yep.
Yeah, we eat a
So,
lot of chicken here too, because it's good for you and it's like not, it doesn't hype your allergies up, doesn't
hmm
cause you to have high allergies
yeah.
like beef does.
It's interesting because chicken is such a really good, like all around meat to eat, right?
Yeah.
And for the longest time, my brother would not eat chicken,
Mm,
and
interesting.
he'd just call it foul. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. He's
Good
like,
pun.
I don't eat foul. And I'm like,
Mhm.
all right. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we're not professional therapists, but we do want to help in any way we possibly can. So if you're having some kind of issue, you're having some kind of struggle, feel free to send it to us. If you want to just have us talk about something random, you can send that to us. And yeah, the ways to do that, again, you go to
Clearly we
don'tworrywednesday.com.
will,
What's that?
as we've already proven. I said clearly we will, as we've already proven.
Oh yeah.
Dinosaurs.
I mean, we even talked about squeeze cheese. I have no trouble talking about
Hmm.
that. I have no trouble eating it.
Again.
Yeah, I'll talk about it all day. The
That's
glories
so
of the
funny.
squeeze cheese. So good. But yep, so go to don'tworrywednesday.com and submit it there or send it to us here in the chat or on Discord. We would be happy to hear. Oh, and we also have the email dww@bss.studio.
Oh yeah.
Um we haven't mentioned that one in a while. I haven't checked it in a while.
No.
Actually,
And careful if you
somebody
send
did.
it there, we might not get to it
We might
very
not get to it
quickly.
for a while. Yeah, yep,
We
real.
might forget about it for 2 years straight and then go, oh yeah. So
Whoops. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I fixed that issue like
luckily,
the week after
luckily
I
we
said
didn't
it."
actually miss anybody's,
That's right, we didn't
surprisingly.
when we checked it last,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So anyway, yeah. So welcome. It's great to see you guys. How you guys doing? How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great, fantastic, beautiful, brilliant. It's awesome. How
You
are you doing?
are. You are beautiful and brilliant. I mean, look at that guy.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, especially with that
Yeah.
face on. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that's the
beautiful,
one.
brilliant face.
Yeah, it's like I walk into a room like that, people are just like, dang, that guy's beautiful and brilliant. They
Uh-huh.
know.
They know. Yep.
Hmm.
And if they don't, they learn right quick.
Oh yeah, they'll figure it out. Stare 1 second longer.
What if we swapped beards? Um,
Oh.
I would probably be sad. I really like my beard the way it is.
If we swap beards, Joe would have a lot to work on.
I would have a lot to work on. Why?
Yeah, because he'd have to comb it and shave it correctly and comb it again and
I
then shave it correctly
do.
again and then comb it again.
I
Yeah, he
do.
would have to do that.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
cause you don't keep yours up
Yeah,
super.
I don't keep mine up as well as you do. That's for
Ah,
sure. I mean, I don't touch it almost at all.
I see.
I run my fingers through it to fix it every once in a while, but that's about the normal effort I'll ever give it.
Yeah, my beard's like
Hmm.
a bonsai tree to me. Except it's
Hmm.
weird. Like it's starting to get a little bit unruly now, so I'm gonna have to like do some trimmage, but that's okay.
Are you thinking about doing that thing that other people do to their bonsai trees, where they have it go this way and then that way? You know, it's
Oh,
like zigzag and stuff.
that's a great idea. Kind of. It's kind of a great idea.
Yeah, shave a little bit here, a little bit too much there, and then a little bit like have a bit grow out, and then like take rubber bands and like make it go to the left, and then you'll have like a hook.
Yeah. Oh
There
yeah.
you go.
It'd be perfect.
It
It'd
would
be
be
so cool.
beautiful. No, it would not be cool. Let's be
It'd
honest.
be something. That's for
People
sure.
would not be able to take you seriously ever. Ever.
Yep,
No
that's
matter
true.
how good the conversation went.
I'd be like, I'm not a professional therapist. They'd be like, we know.
we we see that. What do you mean you see that? We see it.
We can just tell. I have this
You
sense
can't know my
that I
profession by the
know.
way I look. We know what you're not.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, so this is gonna be a fun night. Yeah. So good. I'm glad you're doing well.
Hmm.
So cool. We got some topics. We can jump into a topic if you want. You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we have some topics, and we're gonna go through them. Should we just start at the beginning and roll through them?
Yeah,
We
let's
don't
do
have
that.
anything urgent, right?
None of them said urgent.
None of them say urgent, and all of them are no preference on whether they're here or not. So we'll just go down the
Yep,
list. So perfect.
great.
All right. So the first one we're going to cover is from Anonymous, and it is entitled Capabilities. And I'm going to go put it up on the screen so you guys can read along while I read it aloud. And yeah, so this is Capabilities from Anonymous. And it reads, I think I'm a lot more capable than I actually am, meaning that I take on more than I can handle. Even though I genuinely believe I can handle it in the moment, eventually it does come to fruition that I, in fact, cannot handle it. I did realize this problem a few years ago, so I've overcorrected into not making any promises ever for the time being. So, at the very least, I'm not letting others down, though I'm still really struggling to see where my limits are personally. I still take on too many things on a personal level and struggle to figure out where to do less or when to know to ask for help. I'm still struggling to find balance and would appreciate any advice to be more aware of and accept my actual limits. From Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I could have this same question. I have a tendency to take on more than I can handle all the time. And I make, yeah, right, Moonlit? This topic hits hard to home. You're absolutely right. Hero agrees too. Must be a general consensus.
Mhm.
But yeah, yes, Neon Sai, a lot of people can relate. I agree. And because yeah, sometimes you make promises or you say, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden you have this whole list of things, and now it's a struggle because now I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe if I don't complete all this stuff, it's a character issue. So now I got to go apologize or I got to go ask for help or something.
Mhm.
And it can cause a lot of stress. So this is a really good question. So how can you be aware and accept your actual limits? Um, Honestly, I think it changes depending on what stage of life you're in and what you have going on and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of fluctuates based on what you have going on in your life. Like um, if you're single and you don't have much going on, like you may be able to take on more. However, there's a saying that says if you want something done, give it to a busy person because a busy person is taking action. They're in the habit of doing things, right? And so, like, they're more likely to take action. Some people have nothing going on because they don't want to have anything going on, and so they don't do anything, right? But then you look also at like, I mean, I always think of your brother Ryan because he's
Mhm.
got 8 kids, and one of them is, you know, is their youngest even 1 year old yet? Do you know?
Um,
I don't think
I
he is.
think it's close, anyways.
He's close. He's close to one. But yeah,
Mhm.
so parents of very young children, it's that's a time when there's a lot going on, and when you have that many kids, it's like, oh my gosh, like how does anything get done? And I know his wife is an absolute saint. I mean, she somehow keeps them all in line to the best of her ability, and they all are still alive.
And they're pretty good kids too.
And yeah, they are. They're good kids. And yeah, but so like that's a time when, you have to assess like, okay, what's all going on in my life and how much time can I devote to doing all these other things. So, um I don't know. I think for me, it's kind of like hit or miss, and you kind of learn as you go. Um, but I don't know. I think there are probably some signs that you can tell if you're taking on too much, you know. And there are, but but even still, even then, you might surprise yourself at what all you can handle on your plate. I will say, if you're finding yourself stressed out a lot, then maybe um, maybe you need to back off a little bit. But those are things as you learn people skills, you can learn to adjust and still maintain relationships, even if you have to let people down once in a while and say, "Look, man, I just can't even get to that right now." But I'm going to turn this over to Ryan and see what he has to say on this topic. So I know Ryan has gone through periods of being really, really busy and productive, and then times of, you know, being I don't know. I've never thought of you as lazy, but there are just times when you have
I am
lots
a
going on,
phlegmatic,
and
so I've
then
got this. Yeah,
you are, but you still manage
I have
to
yeah,
go ahead.
I have a proclivity to be lazy, but it doesn't mean I am.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah. So I'm gonna hand this over to Ryan and let him talk about it for a little bit. So Ryan, it is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I I am a pretty hard worker. Even if it doesn't look like I'm getting much done, I spend almost all day working most days.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like there's nothing to show for it because I work on the kinds of projects that you don't see the efforts of until it's out.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just the way it is. And sometimes it can take a really long time
Mm-hmm.
for me to put anything out, like literally like a year for a song, and that happens. But um, it doesn't mean I worked on that one song the whole year, but it doesn't matter. Um, the like I think a lot of people relate to this, obviously, as Ben said. And one thing I think about, Joe was talking about my brother, and my brother's an awesome guy. And one thing I admire about him is that he goes out of his way to do so much for everybody. But I also see that that causes a lot of problems
Mm-hmm.
because he can't handle going out of his way to do something for everybody because nobody can do that. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have enough time. And so then what ends up happening is he has all these promises and he remembers them, but he has like 15 jobs to do for like, you know, 16 people,
Yeah.
whatever. That doesn't work out. But anyways, and then and people are just like, "Hey, are you ever gonna do my thing?" And then he's like, "Yeah, it's on my list. It's I've got it planned out for like a week from now." And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks will go by, and he didn't do it. And you're like, and you know that it's not because he was being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it's because he was doing something else. Because there's always something there,
Right.
and he's got so many, and some of them are urgent, and he can't control that, and some of them are, you know, leisure, and some of them are like, pick and choose. You've got 15 minutes. What are you going to do? Are you going to do this assignment or this other one? Which one's already rolling that you can help make move faster? It's crazy what
Mm-hmm.
he has going on. And so I'm impressed. I'm proud of him for like being able to not crack and break under all of that, and that he still proceeds to wants, you know, offer himself to doing things for people, and that's incredible and admirable, and I admire that. And at the same time, I go, like I recognize that um, when you bite off more than you can chew, it leaves a lot of people feeling uh, like, man, I should have just done this myself. I shouldn't have asked.
Mm-hmm.
Like he offered it, and I said, oh yeah, if you want to do it, go for it. But now it's been like a year, and I could have just done it myself, or I could have had someone else come out and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're waiting on you, and that's not a great thing. So this is a really good topic for lots of people for lots of different reasons. But I think for myself, and I'm not the epitome of like what's perfect. But
You're not any
I
less than
have
that,
to.
though.
Yeah, I'm at least not any less than perfect, which is an
Right.
important, at least, foundation.
Right. Yeah.
Um, starting point, yeah. Um, so thanks, Joe. Um, so I think one thing that was really helpful for me is to recognize, like you are recognizing, that humility is needed.
Yes.
When I'm sick and ill and whatever, I have to recognize like I'm not capable of doing the things that I normally would be able to do. And that's just the honest fact. Like I can try, but try as I might, I'm not as strong. I can't go for as long without like my muscles and body giving out.
Mm.
And it's the same for my mind. When you're sick, you start thinking about stuff and like, yeah, I know I can get my work done if I just really try hard and you're sick. Sure. I mean, it does happen. And then if you go on for like a week like that, you realize like, man, looking back at everything I did, that was stupid. I made so many mistakes I wouldn't have made if I was with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I had done like I literally spent hours solving one stupid problem that was easy. It was like literally a math problem that was like so simple, but I just didn't recognize that it was a math problem. And it was
Mm.
because you didn't have your wits about you. It's like this happens. And so to come to recognize like, wow, um, I can't do everything. It's a great realization.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of those things where, um, for a religious person like myself, we're thankful that we can do anything
Mm-hmm.
because we recognize that everything is a gift. And everything I can do is more than nothing. And even if I can't perform as well as I would like to, I can recognize that the amount that I can perform is a gain, it's beyond nothing. And therefore, that is a positive. It's it's like it's a gift that I can even do anything at all.
Mm.
And I think I find this mentality even more present in people who are disabled. Um, People, not everybody, but a lot of disabled people, they look at life and they're like, "Hey, at least I can do this," And it's like, wow, what a good attitude. And because we're looking at them like, man, they can't do this, that, the other thing, blah, 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 blah. And they're looking at life like, hey, check out all the things I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the things I've overcome,
Mm-hmm.
and we look at that and well, at least I do. And I look at that and I say, wow, that's right. It's impressive that, um, they have that attitude about life. And it's not all of them, but there's a lot of them out there who are like that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I brought it up because I think we've all seen it. If you haven't seen it, well, then that's fine. But you can go on YouTube and look for like people who have severe conditions, both mental, like um, I don't know what, I don't want to like be flagged on YouTube. What's the right word? Their brain doesn't work right. Okay, their brain doesn't work right. All
Yes.
right, they've got like, yeah, and yet they're on YouTube and they're just got an awesome, thankful, kind attitude. They're so excited about the things they can do. Like there's this awesome cooking show, if you guys have seen it, where there's there's it's generally two, but mainly one guy who um the people that film and like kind of help run the show are completely with it, and they're like siblings or family members of these people who can't think as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch their demeanor, the way they participate, the way they do things in the kitchen, the way they cook things, they're so excited about what they're doing. They're so thankful that they can do it and that they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's so refreshing to watch them. And it's not um it really it's refreshing because it shows you it's I think it's correct to look at life like you could be nothing. Instead, you're more than nothing. And even if it's not as much as you want, if you try to subtract that, it doesn't make any sense
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't help you. But so what I'm saying is it's good to recognize the humility that is you are way above zero, but you can't do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's normal. And so to be humble in the sense that you're thankful for what you can do, but you're not concerned for the things you can't do
Mm-hmm.
is important. I think having the mentality where you can say, like, freely and without concern, because it doesn't concern you what you can't do. Like, hey, I can do this, that, and the other thing, but those other stuff, that's out of my time limit, that's out of my capabilities. or that's pushing it, like that's getting close where I don't think I could do that for you in a timely manner and you be pleased with it. And to be just willing to, like, even if you want to help people, sometimes helping people is not participating because
Mm-hmm.
you know that they can do it themselves and they need to do it themselves sometimes. Sometimes people become too complacent or reliant on others, that can
That's true.
happen.
Yes.
Um, and as beautifully satisfactory as it is, and it is satisfying to do things for others, um, you don't want to, like, you do want to do things for others, but you want to make sure that relationship between you and that person doing things is pretty, pretty solid. Like, well, I guess, you can do things for strangers too, but what I mean is like, you want to make sure that the people you're doing stuff for aren't just taking advantage of you naturally.
True.
But it's good to do things, and you want to satisfy that feeling of like, I can do things for others. That's what compels me to. That's what motivates me. Doing things for others. That's awesome. That's a fantastic uh, personality quirk or whatever. Like that's a good thing, but um, that shouldn't trump the other person's livelihood. So if you look at it and say, well, if I take this on, it will actually slow them down because I know that I probably can't handle this,
Mm-hmm.
then it's good to go, um, you know, it's better if I don't do it, even if it doesn't satisfy me, even if I don't want to say no, I
Mm-hmm.
should say no.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn to say no. And saying no was hard at
Yeah.
first, but
Yeah.
um, I eventually got got to being able to do it. And I think part of what helped that was I encountered some scenarios where I was capable of doing work, but the work that different people wanted me to do was like out of what I would allow morally. And when I was like, no, that crosses moral boundaries, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. And I was very firm. That really helped me with being able to say no to even things that are just like normal day stuff. Like, hey, can you do this for me? Blah, blah, blah. And usually I'll say yes. But if it's like, not right now, maybe if you give me like 15 minutes or whatever, or maybe it's like it's a really big task and it's like, yeah, I might be able to do that. I might not be able to do it, and I'll be honest as possible. So being as honest, allowing yourself to not I think one of the key ingredients of this is um not stretching, not how do I say this? Um if you can look at the task and know that there's even a small chance that it will put you over your limitations, then that's the moment where you really have to start thinking like, yeah, when you start asking, "Oh, can I do that? Do I have enough time to do that?" When you start thinking those thoughts, then that's a good mental cue. Hey, I need to hash this out more before I just say yes.
Mm.
It's like if you start thinking, if the thought is like, man, when could if I was to do that, like, how can I, like, man, do I have time for that? Like, I've got so many other things going on. You start having thoughts like that, then that's a good mental cue to say to the person, um, I'm not sure if I can do that. Let's talk about it. And I might say no, but because it might be better for you to find somebody else who can do it better than me,
Mm.
or at least more timely. So my question to you is, how long are you willing to wait? Because I might not be able to get to this for a couple of months.
Mm.
Um, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and things like that. And I find for me that helps quite a bit, because it's honest with the person up front, and it's honest with myself, and I can at least make an attempt to keep on those, um, keep my uh, what's the word? Make it easier for me to do what I say I'm gonna do. There we
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now this topic is much different and much more than just that. I can see because there's a bit of you know, noticing your own personal, yeah, integrity. Thank you. Um, knowing your own personal boundaries, like you might say, well, yeah, I could do that because you think you can.
Mm.
And so that little that introspective thought that says, oh, I don't know if I have time for that might never happen because you'd be like, oh, yeah, I can do that. It's like, oh, I I didn't know that you've ever done welding before. So you're willing to do that? You're like, I've never welded anything before. I can do it.
Yeah.
Be like,
I'll watch a YouTube
okay,
video and,
yeah,
you know, look some stuff up
mm-hmm,
and yeah, I'll be good.
and it'll be done by Wednesday. And it's like, okay, okay, go for it, you know? And then like 3 months go by, and you're like, wow, that was well, I got it done, but oh my gosh, there's a lot more to it than I thought. You know, I looked it up on YouTube and it looked easy, and it was easy, but then I had to buy the parts, and that took like 3 weeks to ship to me because, like, like I didn't realize these parts were so hard to find, and I had bought one because it was cheap, and I found out it was broken, and there was a certain part in it that was broken, so I had to take it apart and check, and if that was a broken part, and it was, and then I mean, it's like that's real stuff. And my brother goes through it all the time. You're like, I found this, it was cheaper, so I bought it. And then I found out that the part inside that was broken needed to be welded itself, so I had to get a thing. And then I fixed it up, and then I could finally start working on your project. I started working on your project, and I found out, hey, there's a lot more broken than just that thing you thought I needed to weld. So I fixed that up for you too.
Yes.
But that took a lot of YouTube videos. Probably like 3 days worth of videos watching and watching and watching. So anyways, here you go. I finished it. Sorry, it's been 2 years.
Yes.
It's like, so I think there's this term that I always say when it comes to handling something in terms of projects. Everything takes longer than you expect. Always. And it's almost there was something that was quoted to us. Our first project that we ever did, Joe and I, for putting out an album for a company.
Yes.
On the album, for like the story of how it came to be. Part of the story, and it wasn't a diss or anything. It was just part of the story. And part of the story was that the project took longer than ever thought possible. Which meant they were sure that it just wasn't going to happen. They were sure that, okay, yeah, this thing isn't happening. And then it happened.
Uh-huh.
It took longer than ever thought possible. Now, that sort of thinking, when I'm looking at something, is kind of my default. And so when I look up stuff, when I think about like how, like I try to be honest because I'm sit here like, and I work on like some coding stuff for my game, and I have to think about every little thing I do as its own project,
Mm-hmm.
and everything will always take longer than I ever expect. Like all I have to do is this one little thing, you know. And it's like I'll be like 15 minutes. All I have to do is this one little thing. I'll be 15 minutes, and I'll cook his dinner, and then like, 3-4 hours go by, and I still haven't figured it out, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And over time, I started to realize that's not okay, and that is real. That is really what's happening. So now, if I'm like, okay, I gotta make dinner, I'll just drop this and come back because I know the reality is this will take longer than I ever expected. This will take longer than I ever thought possible
Mm-hmm.
for pretty much everything. And if something goes really smoothly and exceeds my expectations, and it just happens, like I clicked a couple of buttons and it actually worked, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. That just feels great. This feels great, and there's no problem with it. It's like it's no problem. It doesn't hurt for me to expect things to take really long, and then they happen really quick, and I'm just like, cool, nice.
Yes.
Now I can move on to the next step, or I can do this other thing I was wanting to do, right? Or whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's great. So I think if you can think about that, like, so it's like there's things you don't know how to do in life, and so you're starting up something. You're like, oh yeah, I can handle that. Well, you don't. You can handle it. That's true. Number one, that is true. You can handle it. But the question is that a good idea for you to handle it? And figuring out whether it's a good idea for you to handle it is to try to take that sort of mentality and go, okay, this is going to take longer than ever expected. This is going to be harder than I expect because there's going to be a lot of variables that I don't understand or know about yet. and I have to learn those things.
Mhm.
And sometimes you like learning, sometimes you don't like learning. And that's who we are as human beings. We're all like that, I expect.
Mhm.
And sometimes you want to like crack open that handbook and start reading it, and because you're excited, and sometimes you're like, that's the last thing you want to touch. And so, if you can kind of take experience from your life and just say, look, um, if you're trying to take, you feel like if this is a new project and you're like, I can take that on, you just take that thought along with, but it will take ever longer than ever expected. It will take longer than ever thought possible, because these are things that, um, I haven't handled before. They're new things.
Mhm.
It's like you haven't been there before. And now some things are like, yeah, I've done that a million times, and you're like, yeah, I can handle that because I've done it a million times. But sometimes something that you're handling for the millionth time ends up being different than you've ever expected. Maybe you're doing like, I don't know, I could relate this to music. I'm doing music, and it's like, yeah, this is my like millionth song, and I've done like everything. And then, I'm doing something, and it's like, man, I can't get it to blend in. I can't get it to blend in with these instruments. There's something covering it up. Like, and no matter what I do with the EQ, I can't solve it. I'm like, what on earth is going on? And I'll sit there for like hours, and time, and like spending a really long time on it. And then maybe just having to give up and come at it next day, and then come at it the next day. And then eventually go like, you know what? I can't figure it out. I'm going to delete the instrument. I'm going to use something else. you know, sometimes, sometimes that's how it goes. Um, And that's life. Even when you think every the ins and outs of the thing you're doing because you've done it a million times, man, curveballs happen.
Mhm.
And so what I'm trying to say is, it's not that you want to doubt yourself. It's good that you have confidence in yourself. It's good that you think you can handle it.
Yeah.
That's good. Because the reality is you probably can't handle it. But always keep in mind that handling it means it's going to be more effort than you expect, take longer than you expect, and that might not be worth it if it is going to be those things.
Mhm.
Because if you're like, I mean, let's say you're trying to make money in the next week, and you know that, like, because you're short on money, you're like, I got to make money in the next week. And you're like, I come up with this really good idea. I've never done it before. And it's like, well, you think about that. Can you handle it? It's like, yeah, I can handle that. Is it going to be done in a week? No, I don't know. Yeah, I could do that in a week, probably. Have you ever done it before? No. Okay, add 7 weeks on that.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, now is it still within the week? No, you just added 7 weeks. Of course it's not within the week. Then don't rely on that. Don't think you can handle doing that in a week's time if you really haven't been there before. And so it's like, find something you can do. Whatever. Not that that's the scenario here, but I'm just giving an example of when to know whether it's worth the time and effort that it's going to take for you to handle it, and when it's not. And I think, so that's my best advice. The best advice I have is, you can handle it, but everything will always take longer than you've ever thought possible.
Mhm.
And if you include that into the equation, then um, it'll set you probably a little bit more, it'll course correct you to some things and make you feel like, okay, that's kind of out of my ability to handle within this time frame,
Mhm.
or my ability to handle it with effectively, and to the quality that this person wants it, or that I want it. And sometimes that's what you face, and you go, well, I could make it that quality if I spent 2 years on it, but it's not worth the 2 years to spend on it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's a good way to handle it. At least that's the best egg in my basket that I have. It's the best ammo I have for this. And with that, we talked for a really long time. Joe, I'm going to give it over to you. And I honestly hope that some of that was helpful. I know I reiterated what I said a lot, but I do hope that it was helpful.
I mean, it was the best egg in your basket.
Mm-hmm.
I like
It's
that.
not even Easter.
I
So I think it's
know.
going to be there for a
We were
while.
talking about Easter earlier, and I was like, the best egg in the
hmm
basket. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ryan. Nyansai in the chat says stuff used to take 5 times longer than I expected. I did manage to get it down to 3 times longer, but sometimes it's infinitely longer. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. That's how you I think that's, like, how I have to gauge it, you know? It's like, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
it will take infinitely long. Yeah.
Yep. And I really like what you said next, Nyansai. It says it can be difficult to stop and take time to reflect when you always taking action. You're absolutely
Mm.
right. Like, because
That's
sometimes
true.
we get in constant go mode, and we're just doing things. And if we never step back and look at what we're doing and kind of analyze a little bit, then we can, we can totally be running in a weird direction, and then all of a sudden we're spread way too thin and we're not even in a place where it's fitting our life priorities and all that kind of stuff. Um yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you get so exhausted and burn out and you think that you're resting, but you're really just burned out.
That's great.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely right. So I really like what you were talking about, Ryan, and it's really true. And I'm gonna go in what direction I think you were starting to head in, which is kind of, I as I was thinking through what you were saying, and stuff was popping up in my head, and it
Mm,
really just kind of came to mind that sometimes we look at this the wrong way. And I'm not saying you're
mm,
looking at this the wrong way, Anonymous, but I will say that what like it's good that you're analyzing this. It's good that you're taking this time to reflect, and it's good that at the moment what you were wise enough to say, I'm not making any promises right now
mhm,
because this is going to give you this time to kind of reflect a little bit. And one of these things that's in your reflection should be, what are your priorities? Like, what are the things that you want your life to stand for? What are the things that you want to be able to do? What are the things that you want to be good at? What are the things that you want to be known for? Like, what kind of life is it that you're looking for? Because if we don't know that, then a lot of times we end up spread thin in all kinds of different directions that may or may not be related to what we want our life to reflect. Does that make sense? So, I'm thinking of this example. So it's like, um, so I have 2 kids, and my youngest kid he is now really 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 into basketball, and I'm sure I've said this before on this show, but I've never been into basketball, but I'm into watching my kids do well at whatever they decide to do, right? And so I'm always there watching him. I'm there, I'll take him to the gym and we'll go play basketball. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do what I can to be there with him and help him and play with him and stuff. It's part, try to connect as father and son, and also something that he loves to do. It's something that he wants to get good at. And it's very interesting to watch this because he's getting really, really good. Like last night, at his game, he scored more than twice as many points as anybody else on his team. He was the MVP of the game, and like all this stuff. Like it was just incredible to watch this guy, do this. And but the thing is he's decided that this is what he wants to get good at. And he decided that, like over a year ago, that he wanted, like, this was going to be the priority for him. This is what he wanted to be good at. And, excuse me. But, he had to say no to a lot of things in order to make that happen. So it's like, what kind of focus do you want to have in your life? At some point in time, Ryan decided he's going to get good at music. And
mhm,
so even when he's doing other stuff, like I remember, Ryan, you telling the stories about when you were driving around doing your job as a property inspector, you'd
mhm.
spend this time singing and it was
Mhm.
practice time for you. And
Yeah.
this is what built you into the singer that you are, is taking that time to work at it, right?
Mhm.
And so you really nailed it, Ryan, when you said, when you were talking about saying no to things, cuz really that's the key, is figuring out what to say no to. So you figure out what you're going to say yes
Mm.
to, and then everything else can kind of go
Ah.
by the wayside. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that because my focus is here. And it's really good to set those boundaries within yourself and then to live out those boundaries with the people around you. So when people are asking you for favors, they're asking you to help with stuff, blah, 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 blah. It's like, man, I'd really love to help you, but I really don't have time right now. And that's totally okay to say. Sometimes we get caught in this trap of people pleasing. Have you ever been there, Ryan?
Oh, yeah.
I've been there.
Oh, yeah.
I know lots of people who have been there, and we can
I'm a people
totally.
pleaser by nature.
You're a people pleaser by nature,
Yeah, because 'cause I'm phlegmatic and I have to make sure everybody is happy and there's no discourse or, everyone's perfect harmony. Yeah.
hmm Yep,
Mhm.
yep. And another thing that I really respect about Ryan is that he prioritizes his values, his virtues, his morals, his values, and he does the best he can to live in alignment with those virtues.
Mhm.
And so that's a thing to choose too. It's like, okay, what kinds of things am I willing to do? What kinds of things do I want to avoid? And how am I going to put my life together to reflect that?
Yeah, that's a good way to make a direction that you can go in. That's
Right.
smart.
And so then it gives you a guide and what to say no to, what to say yes to. And really, if you're going to get good at something, if you're going to, really excel at something, it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of focus. And there are a
Mhm.
lot of things out there that can totally pull your focus away. And so we have to be mindful of that as we move forward. So to get back to my son, as he was, training to get good at basketball and everything, like this year, like we had talked about this, probably, probably about a year ago, when he was talking about, I really want this to be my thing. I really want this to be the thing that I'm good at, right? And so I was like, okay, have you thought about not getting involved with other sports, different activities, da 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 da, and focusing here, right? And so this past fall, this was the first year since he was really, really, really little that he did not play soccer in the fall at his
Mm.
school. Because he would always, in the fall he would play soccer, in the winter he would play basketball, in the in the spring and summer he would play baseball, and it was like that
Mhm.
every year, every year, like clockwork. Every year, you knew that's what he was going to be doing. And so this year, he decided not to play soccer, and it was really weird. And I remember, uh, he at some point he saw all of his friends. They were playing soccer because a lot of his friends were doing the same thing, right? They're playing all
Mhm.
sports, like some kind of sport every season, and so all of his friends are playing soccer, and he's like thinking, "Man, I really wish I would have played soccer," But by then it was too late. He couldn't sign up anymore,
Mhm.
and so he was kind of starting to second guess himself a little bit, and I'm like, "That's okay. That's all right. This is what you're choosing to do, and that's totally fine. You can always go back and play soccer next year if you want, But let's just see how this goes." And so the whole fall, while his friends were playing soccer, he was outside shooting baskets at home. We were going to the gym together and playing basketball at the gym and doing all this stuff. And he'd be going like every day, every day, every day. He's focused there. and it's really starting to pay off. Like I said, like his game yesterday was absolutely outstanding, and his coach is saying, you know, this is there's his coach was like, Joe, be my dad. What? Why? You don't want me for your dad. Trust me, I'm not that great. But I appreciate you saying that.
He's an angry father,
I'm,
but he's a good one.
it's funny. I talk about being angry. It's not that I'm aggressive and I'm
Yeah.
not mean and I'm not like,
No, I don't.
I'm not, I don't yell and I don't get violent and none of that stuff. I'm not aggressive, but I just always have this anger like churning in here. And so I choose to
Yeah.
direct it. Right. I've learned how to do that. And that's totally different topic, but
Sorry. Yeah.
anyway, so, where was I? Oh, his coach is telling me, he pulled me aside and he was like, your son, there's only one other player that I've coached in this entire time that I've been coaching that has as much skill as your son. And that was like mind blowing to me. I was like, wow. So all this is paying off for him, right? This focus and you look at Ryan and his prowess in music, in songwriting, and in singing. At some point, he decided, this is what I'm going to do, and focused there. And he didn't even really have to say no to a lot of things. He just lived this, and you knew that's what he was going to be doing. You just knew.
Yeah.
And so it's like you don't even need to ask him if he, like, Ryan, come fix my car. Like, what kind of, like, what?
Yeah, that's true. No one would ask me for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Because
Ryan's not the guy for that.
right, we knew this is what you were doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as your life, as when you decide your focus and when you kind of move in that direction, the thing that happens is you kind of automatically, your life starts to go on a path and people take notice. And you don't have to set boundaries with them and say, no, I'm not going to do this, because they just know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would really encourage you in this time, Anonymous, when you are reflecting and thinking, how can I know what I'm capable of? I'll tell you, you are capable of more than you can even imagine with the right focus. The problem is most of us, we start going in a direction, we get distracted, we get asked to do certain things. We haven't really quite set the boundaries with ourselves yet. And so those boundaries don't translate into other people seeing them. And so we get asked to do these things and then we go, whatever. But it really comes from figuring out your priorities and figuring out what it is you want to be good at, what it is you want your life to stand for. And from there, all of this can kind of flow naturally. If you've had a habit of taking on a lot of stuff, there might be a time, it might be time to trim back a little bit. And I see that's kind of what you're doing based on what your topic says, right? You don't want to let other people down. And so don't promise it, right? But when you when you within yourself choose a focus and you start moving in that direction, the world, the people around you will take notice. But sometimes you will still offend people. Hey, Twashu, how's it going? Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. It's great to see you, as always. What is that hand?
I don't know. That's why I love it.
What
It's
even
like,
is
hello.
that?
Hello.
What?
Hi.
It's Pat. Okay.
Oh, is that Pat? Pat, is that what that is? Oh, I'm just looking at it like the hand gesture. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? What's up?" It's like the crab claw or something. It's like going in for a shake. That's what I thought it was, like go like, you raise your hand, you're like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Right? You put your hand up high like that. Yeah, and you cup their hand.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought it was.
You know what's funny is we were talking
Yeah.
about handshakes earlier and the squeezers, the people who like crush your
Oh,
hand with
yeah,
their
yeah, we were.
handshakes. You know what's funny that I
Mhm.
noticed? Um, for a while, um, I've
It's like
always
that.
I've always had a pretty firm handshake, but not a "Arr, I'm gonna squeeze your hand." There
Mhm.
was there was one guy that I knew from
It's
high
Henry.
school, and I ran into him, at a restaurant, um, and I went to shake his hand, right? And he was one of those squeezers, right? And so like,
Mhm.
so he like shook my hand and he squeezed it, and I was like, ugh. And I shook his hand, and I looked at him because he squeezed the heck out of my hand, and
Yeah.
so then I just did this. I was like.
That is that is such a good play, Joe. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so good. How did he respond?
He looked at me. He didn't say anything. He looked at me funny. He was like, "Oh, yeah, like good to see you, man." And he's like, "Yeah, you too." And he walked away.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Creep him out. He'll never squeeze your hand again.
Yeah, that's right.
I
But I
love that.
noticed this is very interesting because I was an instrument repair technician for a long time, and that's where you're using your hands all day. Like you're just working really hard,
Mm.
and you end up with really really strong hands,
Yeah,
right? Strong
that makes
hands,
sense.
strong wrists and forearms, right? Because you're doing stuff with your hands all day. And everybody who did that had really, really light handshakes.
Oh,
And I think
because they
it's
have more
just
control.
because, honestly, I think it's because our hands are always tired.
Oh, tired. That makes sense. Well, I was imagining dogs, like puppies. I've said this before on stream, but unless you allow a dog to play and bite
Mhm.
and figure out like what was too strong,
Mm.
um, they will never learn to control their jaw very
Oh.
well. Like you have a dog who can you when your dog is a puppy and you play with it and you let it bite and stuff and you go, "Oh, that hurt." And it goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." It like experiences that and you have that emotional play and you play with the dog. That dog will be able to grab an egg and put it somewhere else without breaking it.
Ah.
And they've done a lot of tests on this. You take a dog that was not allowed to play and it will break the egg almost every time.
Wow.
And a dog who has played will never break the egg.
Mm-hmm. There's a control.
And so I was thinking
It's
maybe
that
it's
control thing.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you may be right. I always just kind of figured that their hands were tired. So, but
Probably because their hands are tired. That actually makes sense. They're just like limp fish
like
hands,
I'm
you
just
know?
like so exhausted. Like let me shake your hand. Like they hardly even grab it at all. They just kind of like put their
Yeah.
hand on your hand and shake it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Neons. I think you're right. I think people are well aware that they're strangling your hands. Yes.
Yeah, I think they know. I
Yeah.
think they know that they're doing that, yeah. Anyways, back to the topic.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, I mean
Side
I was
venture.
pretty much done. But anyway, so yeah, just to kind of recap. So Ryan talked about a lot of ways that you can determine what you're capable of. I would say pay attention to yourself. Like Neonsai said in the chat, take some time to reflect. And it's like what you're doing now. And reflect not only on what you're capable of handling, but also like really kind of start to think through what do I want my life to look like? What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to focus on? Because like I said, a lot of things will just kind of flow naturally. Like with Ryan, we knew he was going to be working on music and that's what he was going to be doing. So why would we ask him to do some kind of random other thing, right?
Mm.
And like my son, playing basketball. I know he's going to be playing basketball all the time. Like why would I expect him to, do some other weird thing, right? Because I know that's his focus.
Mhm.
Um so yep, so you can figure out your priorities, you figure out where you're at in life, and figure out what kinds of things do you want to be doing. And if and if the answer that you come to is, I just want people to like me and I want people to be happy with me, I would encourage you to challenge that mentality, because that doesn't lead to very good places. I've been that kind of person before. I think Ryan could probably attest to that too. That when you get into that habit of just trying to, be liked and
Mhm.
please people, you end up becoming a doormat. And
Yeah, you
you
run in circles doing
and
nothing.
you lose direction and you do all this. And another thing too is the more you allow people to the more you say yes to everything, the more people will expect it and the more they will try and put on your plate for you.
Mhm. Yes.
So if you start with a focus for your life and for what you want to accomplish and shut all those things out, there might be a transitioning period where you have to start telling people no, and they might look at you funny like, what the heck, how dare you tell me no? And they might get mad and they might be upset and they might try and convince you to do it anyway. And there might be all
Yeah.
this kind of
Might
stuff. But
tell
if
you that they were relying on you for this, that, and the other thing, and you aren't gonna hand you uphold your end of the deal and blah blah blah. And it's like
exactly.
we didn't have a deal. You made that up in your head, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yep. So, oh hey man, Leos, we'll see you later. um Good seeing you. um
Mhm.
yes. Wait, Neonsei. It was a popular topic that shaking your hand strongly would determine the kind of person that you are. People said if your handshake was weak, that you were a weak person and not good in business. I've heard that
I
before.
remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. What? They're not saying what they think they are when they strangle your hands. Hey, Wix. Great to see you. Um,
Mhm.
but anyway, Anonymous, thank you so much for the topic. Ryan, did you have anything else to say about this?
No, I don't. I think that covered. We did pretty good. We got quite the gamut there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, something was good and useful for Anonymous today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure something was. I
Yeah.
really like what you had to say. That was really good.
I
I
really
think,
like what
yeah,
you had
when
to
you
say.
find a direction, yeah, and I think it goes hand in hand with the humility thing too. Like you have to realize you aren't like it's hard to realize it, but at some point you have to realize that you aren't going to be able to be good at everything, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something you were made to be. You were
Right.
not made to be able to. You were not made to take on everything. You were made to take on your portion
Mm-hmm.
in the world.
Yes.
And that can change the world. That one little tiny portion, and you have to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's your bit. Let the world handle itself, and you handle what you can handle. And having that humility, recognizing that it's not a bad thing, and that it is fine and it's good. Like, because then you can focus on changing what you can, and let the kings do what they do, let the peasants do what they do. It's like let people do what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
in their little departments, and things will work out.
Yep.
Generally speaking, yeah,
Yep. And don't let the opinions of other people sway you. I know that's hard because
yeah,
we live in a
it
world
is.
where we want people to be happy. We want to be accepted, quote unquote, accepted. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and but you would you would do much better to just shine in an area because you focused,
Mm,
and you would, like Ryan said, you will make more of a difference in the world if you can do that. So, um,
it's true.
So I wish you all the best, Anonymous, in this journey. I know it's tough. I know it's tough to reflect on some of this stuff and figure it out. But you can do it. And yeah, and it's okay to say no. it is okay to say no, for sure.
Mm.
A lion does not listen to the opinions of the New York Times.
It is true. A
That's
lion will be what
true.
a lion is. Does not care.
Yep. Yep.
Does not know, but it does not care. Saw that on a t-shirt once. That's awesome. That's a good
Yeah,
line.
that's a good shirt. I like that shirt. Yeah, but it's true.
I think what it means is that like most lines are illiterate. I don't think it means that, but I love that, Wix. Yes, I think that's what it means. It does mean that. Does mean that.
Yep. Only most of them,
You're
though.
awesome.
Not all of them, just most.
Yeah, most, most, most. Amazing.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you,
That's
Anonymous,
so
for the
good, man.
topic.
You have a great
And
sense of humor.
yeah. Um
Not all, not all.
So yeah, so let's move on to the next one. The next one we have is from Anonymous also. I don't know if it's the same Anonymous or a different Anonymous.
I spelled it the same way, but that doesn't mean it's the same one.
That's true. Came on the same day too.
Ooh, still doesn't mean it's the same one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. So this next one we're going to do is called Thinking with Intention. It also comes from an Anonymous. And again, I will put it up on the screen and you guys can read along with me while I read it out loud. So where's the button? There it is. Okay. Thinking with Intention. And it reads like this. How do I get better at focused thinking? My mind is like a TikTok feed. I don't watch TikTok, by the way. I just want to think with intention, but I can't seem to. From Anonymous. You know, Anonymous, if you're the same Anonymous that sent us the other one, like we just told you, you know, like in my part I was told you, you know, like find some kind of focus for your life, you know, think with intention, all that kind of stuff. Like this is just going to go hand in hand with that. And so this is good because this is going to help you with the other one if both of these came from you. So yeah, how do I get better at focused thinking? My mind is like a TikTok feed. I don't watch TikTok, by the way. I just want to think with intention, but I can't seem to. And you know, I think that's a pretty common a common issue people have these days. You know, we have
Mhm.
there's so much broken focus out there. And I don't know if it's just cultural. I mean, we live in the information age when there's information bombarding us from all directions all the time. You know, you open up your computer and then, you know, I have on my web browser, I have everything turned off because I don't want to see
Mhm.
some kind of feed of, you know, like news and, you know, all these kinds of things that I feel like I'm supposed to care about and, you know, all that stuff, right? How do I think with intention? And you know, you're lucky because Ryan is here. And Ryan, yeah, yes, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And you're
Ryan
welcome. I don't know.
Ryan's very good at getting rid of noise in his life.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
And um and being able to focus. And part of it is like Ryan, you have ADHD, right? Or ADD?
Hmm.
AD, yeah.
They took away the term ADD and now it's just ADHD, but I was ADD, but now I'm ADHD because they didn't. It's just a personality difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same mechanisms going on in the brain. It's just a different personality, which relates to a different functional difference, but in reality, it's the same.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm kind of the opinion that we kind of probably all have some of that.
I feel like that's true.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it kind of exists on a continuum
Hmm.
of like you're either more or less ADHD, right?
Yeah.
And I've never been officially diagnosed, but my therapist strongly thinks that I have ADHD.
Okay.
And so it's just kind of figuring out how to deal with that as you go, because yeah, distractions come, and you get off in some other world when you need to be focused here, right? And so how do you think with that intention? And I know, Ryan, you
Mhm.
had to learn how to cope, like at a pretty you how old were you when you stopped taking your medication?
I think, well, I was, I believe it was freshman year of high school. So I was, how was it, 14?
Yeah, usually
No,
14ish,
I was 13.
13,
I was
14.
13 because I went to school 1 year earlier
Okay. Yeah.
than I was supposed to.
Okay.
My mom was like, "You're ready, go." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So yeah, like I'm really interested to see what you have to say about this. So I'm gonna hand it over to you. So have at it, man.
All right. Well, I'll give it my best. Yeah. This is an interesting thing because, Joe was bringing up ADHD, and whether you have it or not doesn't really matter. I think it's the same skill set, and skill set is what matters. Um, I want to uh, I want to try to make an analogy for you so that you can get it on what I'm about to say without feeling hesitant or like knocking it down before you try it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, imagine, okay, let's do your cooking. Okay? You're cooking. Let's say you go and you are living off on your own, and now you are tasked with all the cooking. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And cooking is not something you're good at. You don't like cooking, you're not good at it. You don't even enjoy it. And when you do cook, it always ends up burnt and it's awful, or it's just like it just turns out bad. You don't know, like every time you try to like make something work, it's like really bland, or it's just like it just doesn't taste good. And you're like, "Man, I'm really bad at cooking." So you decide, you're like, "Okay, I'm just bad at cooking. I don't know what I'm doing in the kitchen." And when I try to like do the recipes, I follow people, it just comes out bad. Like, so I don't know what it is. I just know that I'm bad at it. Okay, cool. All right. So let's say that's your experience. That's a lot of people's experience, by the way. Um, here's here's the next part of that. Imagine that even if that was the case, you had to live with your own cooking because no one else is going to do it for you. Imagine a world where you can't just buy pre-cooked food and you're not going to just eat fruit or whatever, right? So you have to cook your own food. It's mandatory. And every time you do, it's crappy. And so what do you do? What do you do? Basically, probably what you do is you avoid cooking and you eat like once a week because you hate it so much and you believe you can't do it. And like you cook like once a week and then you try to eat that same gross meal like every day at the best you can. And then, and that's your life. And so your cooking is chaos because you don't know what you're doing in the kitchen. It tastes bad and you refuse to participate. And it's necessary though, and you can't get away from that fact. It's a part of life. It's a part of life, and you have to do it. Okay. So what I'm going to say is, yes, that's your thinking. How do you get better at focus? How do you get better at focused thinking? My mind is like a TikTok feed. I don't watch TikTok, by the way. I just want to think with intention, but I can't seem to. You're in that same position. When you try to think with intention, you can't because you're not good at it. And so, because you're not good at it, you let it do its own thing. You kind of avoid spending the time and you kind of avoid it. And when you avoid it, it just comes because you can't stop it. And when it comes like a TikTok feed. It comes wild and out of control. I'm going to tell you something. If I don't spend time thinking, what happens to me is my mind becomes like a TikTok feed.
Mm.
If I don't spend time thinking throughout like a whole, like if I don't really spend any time thinking for like, I don't know how long it has to be because it's rare that I get this, but like if I don't think for like a month or something, get out of the habit.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many thoughts that are pent up inside that need to play out,
Mm.
and I haven't given them a space to. When I finally give it the time of day to start thinking, or like there's a moment where I can actually think straight because I'm not preoccupied by everything going on in all my activities, and I finally have a moment to myself to think, and I try to think about something, it all comes flailing at me at once, and especially the stupid ones that don't even make sense and have no reason to be even thought about. That's not a joke, that's reality. That's what happens to me, and I think that's probably what's happening to you.
Mm.
If you don't give yourself time to think, all of those thoughts are still unsettled in your head, and they're gonna come out, and most of them are gonna be the stupid ones.
Mm.
Because you can't handle anything beyond stupid at this point, because there's so many layers.
Mm-hmm.
And until you can get to them and understand them, each ingredient at a time, you are not going to be able to cook anything up with these thoughts. So you need to spend time in that kitchen.
Mm.
And you need to spend time smelling those ingredients, tasting them, figuring out what tastes good with what. Why do you like certain things? Analyze it. You need to spend time in the kitchen cooking up things. Sometimes, yeah, you got to listen to someone who knows more than you. But whenever you do that, know that you turned your brain off. You have to spend time with you if you want to get good at you doing things in your brain.
Mm.
If you want to have intentional thinking, you have to intend on thinking intentionally. And that means setting time apart where you get all the stupid stuff out of the way, and you got to get those out of the way because they're just going to be there, like a TikTok feed, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
until you do. They're going to be there. And every time you go into that quiet space, anytime you go into thinking mode, they're going to be there until you finally get them out of the way. And so you're like, what am I supposed to do? Just go off into quiet and just like experience all this flood and like get nowhere and like over and over and over and over. And the whole reason I'm trying to do this is so I can concentrate. But in the end, what I end up doing is wasting time
Mm.
because I'm sitting here doing nothing. Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. That's what you have to do. Because you can't get good at cooking if you don't cook. You can get good at cooking if you watch good cooks. But how often are you watching good cooks?
Mm.
You can get good at thinking with intention if you surround yourself with people who are thinking with intention, but you still at some point have to confront yourself and get all of those thoughts out of the way.
Mm.
Get all of those thoughts under control. And getting that under control takes time. It's a skill, requires a certain, like any skill, it requires time and effort. And you might feel like you don't have that time and effort to put in your life for this. But it seems pretty important to be able to decide what to do on tasks and things like that. So I think it's probably worth it if you could find a little bit of time every day. And during this time, I would unfortunately recommend like something that, I mean, we talk about on this channel a lot. You know, if you have a hard time with your thoughts, getting them out onto paper really helps.
Mm.
But in this scenario, I would say you don't want to do that
Mm.
because the paper thing is to help you focus and be able to get through and move forward on your thoughts and have it focused. So those TikTok crazy, like you said, feed in your brain of just random thought, random thought, random thought. Hey, watch, think about that. Think about this. You know, you're not going to be able to get that under control if the only reason you have control over it is by writing.
Mm. Mm.
Because you can't write everything out. Like, let's say you have an assignment that you need to do on your computer, and you're like, okay, I can't think straight right now to have like a good direction for what I'm trying to do. So I guess I'll go to my paper. And yeah, sometimes you can do that. And you can write out your things and you write out your thoughts. And you're like, okay, I'll do this, this, that, the other thing. And then, okay, now I've got it. Right. And that might help. But it won't stop that TikTok feed thing from in your head. It won't stop all those crazy things going on unless you spend time in that space,
Mm.
solving each one as it comes. And you have to bear that. And you have to not just push it away and ignore it. You have to literally work through each one. So one feed will come and it will be stupid, something you probably don't want to think about. It's okay. Think about it for a little bit. Give it some time. Think about it and be like, okay, that thought's done. Next one. What's next? And you kind of have to allow them to come because, like I said, you've got a buildup of years probably of thoughts that have been unsolved.
Mm.
A lot of people I know, they say whenever they go into that quiet place, they say, I don't like being at home alone. I like to turn the TV on. If I'm alone, I won't watch it, but I just have it on, playing in the background, things like
Yes.
that. Because if they start thinking, they go to a dark place. Whenever they're alone and thinking, they go to a dark place and they don't want to be there. It's very common. Actually, a lot of people are like that. But you only fix that problem if you confront it. And if you never confront that problem head on, time and time again until it's actually solved. If you don't do that, it will always be there. And you will always have that sensation of like, well, I need to turn the TV on. I need to make sure I don't think, or else I'm going to have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to set yourself apart from the world. Say some time, think about those thoughts. Time to have a bad day. Sometimes you just have to have set time to have a bad day and call it productive, because that's, I think, the only way through this. Because you don't get good at something by not doing it.
Mm.
And when I decided that I was going to stop my medication for ADHD, which is basically ADHD is a little bit confusing because people say it's a lack of focus, but it's actually hyperfocus.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
hyperfixation.
Yes.
But the reality is, if you have ADHD and you have hyperfixation, but you don't have control over what you fixate on, then it's like, yeah, ooh, shiny, ooh, squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like everything is out of your control and the teacher's up there talking to you and you don't hear a word of it because you're off in your own mind, in your own world, thinking about what kind of paint you want to use for your room or something. So, you can't you can't focus on what's literally right in front of you because you're so fixated on something else.
Mm.
And that is your mind space until you actually enter into it and figure out, how do you think with intention? How do you get and solve through things? How do you have enough brain power to have formulated thoughts of like systematic approaches and moving one thing at a time and shifting things around in your head and reorganizing things and etc. You got to spend time doing that. And it's the only way to get good at it. And if you do that, this TikTok feed thing will go away because you have to clear that closet space out. It is full. And once you clear it out, you can actually start organizing. And that's kind of all I got to say on it. Is it's really important that you spend time doing this thing that you can't do.
Mm.
And at first, you're going to feel like you're not making any progress because every time you do it, it's the same crazy chaos. But you got to get through that chaos to get to the other side.
Mhm.
That's always how it's always been for everything. You pick up a violin, you try to play that if you've never played a violin before. You're lucky if you even get a squeak out of it. Mostly you just get weird air sound. And then finally you get a squeak and you're like, I got a squeak. It sounded horrible. I don't like that. It's like, yeah, but that squeak, as horrible as it sounded, was closer to you playing the violin than that stuff that sounded okay before,
Mhm.
believe it or not. And so you got to do what you can't do. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to do what I can't do? Do what you can't do until you can do it. It's the only way. It's the same thing for our mind space. Our mind is a tool that we get to use and improve and like it is a incredibly useful tool that you can become skilled with. But in all that chaos, it's a hard place to be. And it's a hard place to use that tool. You can't even use it. There's so much chaos there. It's like, yeah, it's like a rusty nail or something, and you try to pound it into the wall and it just breaks. It's like, well, that was useless. Well, yeah, it's your mind right now. Go ahead and start cleaning up your tools. Go through the chaos. Cleaning is not fun, but it's necessary if you want to be able to have an environment you can work in. And I think that's another thing too. A lot of people say this: if their environment is messy and they've got all sorts of stuff around them,
Mm.
they can't work because their mind is just everywhere.
Mm.
It's the same exact problem. If you can, it's not that you have to ignore everything around you, but if you can work through that, someday you'll be able to work with a mess at your desk and be like, I see the mess, I acknowledge the mess, and I will take care of that mess. But right now I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to do that thing. And once I get certain distance, I'm going to take care of the mess.
Mhm.
And you can do that, and you can actually make your mind clear and focused like that without a single distraction. It's very crisp and clear and like crystal. It's beautiful. But you don't get there without mastering the skill. And the mind is a skill to be mastered. And it's a tool to be mastered. And people have been saying that. I mean, look, martial arts. Look at any martial arts almost, especially those from the East.
Mm.
They so much emphasize the mastery of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes through practice. And they would say the same thing. And they would probably give you the same, but very more different, but same idea is that you need to be a master of your mind.
Mm.
And all this crazy chaos, this TikTok feed, is just a result of not being a master of your mind.
Mm.
That's just what it is. If you want to be calm and collected and be able to make clear decisions, you have to be a master of your mind. That's the way it is in martial arts. That's the way it is in the real world. They go hand in hand because they're true. So, got to spend time working through your TikTok feed in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
letting it go, and it's going to take a long time. It's going to be a while, and that's okay. When you have a day and it's like, man, all I did was just like stupid TikTok feed in my brain. That's not a failed day. That's a day that you moved forward.
Mm.
Even if it feels like you wasted a bunch of time because you couldn't even have a single straight thought.
Mm-hmm.
You do need to get through it the best you can. That's what I got, and I hope that's helpful. And I'm going to give it over to Joe because I'm interested to see what he's got to say and what he's got to add on to this.
I like what you're saying. And I think it's important also to realize is along with what Ryan is saying, that you don't have to take all of those things and resolve them to completion. Because
Right.
that can take a long time. But it is good to declutter your brain to kind of process through all those things like Ryan is talking about. But it's not like you have to solve all of the thing. You don't have to resolve everything, right? You just kind of have to let them.
Yeah, some of that resolving will just be you going, I don't need to resolve that. That's fine. Like that was years ago. Who cares? Let's move on. and then going like, what's next in the feed, you know?
Right.
It's yeah, sometimes you just have to be like, "Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay." Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I kind of quiet? Maybe I am.
Oh,
I
it
don't
might
know.
be that I'm loud.
You're so loud.
Mhm.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll turn myself up a little bit. How about that?
Oh, there we go.
Because I have the
What do
controls.
you think what about that?
Turning up, turning up. I mean, I do have you at 315%, Ryan.
That's because the other stream, for some reason, I was so quiet, and there's no reason why.
I know. All right, I'm gonna put myself at 150%. Maybe that is this helpful?
Hmm,
Maybe this will help. I don't know. Just
hopefully.
let me know. Um,
Yippee!
yay,
Perfect.
good. All right, yippee. Okay. um, so yeah, I think what Ryan's talking about is very valid and it's very important. Like sometimes all that stuff's going through your head and you got to take the time to resolve it. Oops. So um I think there so yes, like Ryan was saying, it's going to be a process. This isn't going to happen overnight. You know, it's going to take some time to get through these things. And that's unfortunate. We think that, we want everything to happen now.
Mhm.
We want to be able to flip a switch and have it be fine, right? And have it be good, right? Like we turn on the lights in our house and the lights come on unless the power's out, right?
Mhm.
But but
Yeah, yes.
but there was a time in life when it was like it's dark. Well, we have to wait till the sun comes out.
Mhm.
Now we just turn on a light switch and the lights come on. It's instant, right? We have microwave ovens, which cook our food
Dang.
super fast. Ryan doesn't use microwave ovens, I don't think. Do you?
I do rarely, but I
Oh, you
don't
do?
have one in my house,
Oh, you don't have one. Okay.
here in Australia. And when we were in America, we prefer to use the mint toaster oven for most things because the way that it heats up tastes better,
Mm-hmm.
and is like more, how do you say, the outcome texture is better
Yes.
because a microwave shifts all the little microns and then it causes like things to become stale
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, hard.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah, we did use the microwave quite a few times while we were there still.
Okay.
Certain things are great for the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my personal opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. My personal opinion is I'm hungry. I want to eat something. I want it to be hot and I want it quick. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
give me the microwave. I don't care. I just need to put something in my belly, right? Like, um, so, but
Mhm.
so we live in
Nothing wrong
this
with that.
we live in this
For sure.
time when yes, I love microwave.
I love microwave. I love microwave,
Now,
says a pirate.
leftover French fries cooked in the microwave, meh.
No. Of course, even when you bake those, they don't turn out very good, to be honest.
You're right.
They're like
There are some things
nasty.
where it's just like, nah, I'll eat something else. But anyway, the point is, we have so many things that we get instantly, that we get very, very quickly. And to think in terms of, this is going to be a process, it's going to take time, it can feel overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like, so it'd be really easy to get discouraged. And so I'm glad that Ryan went through that. And I'm glad that he talked about it and told you it was going to be a process. And I want to reiterate, I can't remember if you said this or not, Ryan, but like really try hard to not get discouraged as you're going
Mhm.
through the process.
Yeah.
Because anytime something takes a while like that, it's going to take, daily or, regular, maybe not daily, but, regularly doing this thing as you sort through all this stuff. Um, Remember that it's going to take time. And if you're doing it, you're on track. Okay? One thing that
Even
I
if you don't
think,
feel like you make any progress, you're on track because you're doing it.
right.
That's the main part. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Um, what, microwave coffee is just not right?
I just want to emphasize that.
You want to
Yeah.
emphasize that microwave coffee is
It's
just
just
not
not right,
right?
man. No, no, I was emphasizing what you were saying.
Oh. Yeah. Microwave coffee is a thing. I used to do that. It would, oh my gosh. I took so much flack from your brother and his wife when I'd
I'm
go and
sure you
work
did.
there, because they had these mocha pots. MOKA
Oh yeah, they take a long time.
pots. And like, so making a cup of coffee took like a half an hour. It felt like, because
Mm.
they had coffee beans, and like the only thing that would make it take longer is if I'd have to roast the coffee beans myself. But they were already roasted beans, but they were whole beans, and so then you would go to the grinder and you put your beans in the grinder, and you turn on the grinder and you let the coffee beans grind into the little powdery stuff, right, into grounds, and then you get the right amount and you put it in the thing, and then you got to heat the water and you got all this stuff, and it's like this big ordeal, and it makes it great cup of coffee. It's fantastic. But man, first thing in the morning, I'm a drug addict, right? Like caffeine is
I was gonna say the way you look at coffee is a little bit different than the way I look at coffee.
it
That's
is.
why.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Like so like so I would like I bought instant coffee. And I brought it over to their house because I was basically kind of just staying there a bunch of nights every week while we were working on their house. And so I'd go and I'd get a cup, and put water in the cup, and I'd put it in the microwave for like a minute and get it so it's hot water. And then I would put my instant coffee in, and I would just slam it, because I just need the caffeine, right? First thing in the morning, that's what I needed. And they would they're like, oh, that's so gross, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I don't care what you say, your opinion matters not.
I have to say, what I was referring to was when people rewarm their coffee in the
Mhm.
microwave.
Oh, I've done
By
that
the
too.
way, I wasn't necessarily talking about. Yeah, I know a lot of people do it. My dad does it. Like I'm just like, no,
Yep.
it tastes bad. It tastes worse when you do that.
it
I'd rather it
tastes
just be cold. It tastes better cold than it does rewarmed in the microwave.
it tastes better. It starts to taste bad on like day 4,
That's day 4.
because what I would do,
You microwave the same cup of coffee 4 days in a row?
no, like I'd make a pot of coffee, a whole pot of coffee.
Oh,
And then
okay.
as soon as it was
Okay.
done brewing, I'd turn it off and I'd get my cup of coffee, right? And then I'd go to work and do whatever. But then I'd have enough coffee in the pot for like, like 4 or 5 days of I'd
Mm,
have the coffee still sitting in the pot, but it was not cooking. The point, you got to turn it off or else it'll burn, right? And then that's
mhm.
really nasty. So, but then, yeah, I just pour a cold cup of coffee, stick it in the microwave for a minute, and then have a cup of coffee. And then, yeah, but by like day 4 is pretty raunchy. So,
Yeah. I think I have very sensitive taste buds. I think when the microwave, excites the water in the coffee, it
hmm
separates the coffee from the water a bit because the coffee tastes weird. The coffee itself tastes
it
not like
does.
coffee
It
anymore.
tastes,
It
it
tastes
does. It's
something
different.
different.
It is different
Yeah.
for sure. That's
Mhm.
okay. You can be a
Okay, so
coffee
yeah,
snob
you
all
can
you
acknowledge
want.
it
I
tastes
don't
different.
mind.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Like I said, I drink coffee for a completely different reason than you, and that's totally fine. Like if you drinking it because it gets you up in the morning and you enjoy that, I think that's totally fine. I enjoy
Yes.
the when it tastes just right and you can experience something, but else you're still experiencing something. I'm not. I think what you're doing is fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm not denoting it
Well, now
or
now
whatever.
my coffee is a fat delivery system.
That's right, it is.
Because I drink bulletproof coffee, and bulletproof coffee has
Mhm.
butter and coconut oil, and it's like all this extra fat, and that's how I start my day, you know. And so, so
That's
yeah,
totally fine to watch you. I
yep.
respect that.
That's hey, everybody's got different tastes.
Mhm.
Everybody's got their thing. Whatever, it's
Mhm.
cool, you know. I'm figuring it out as I go too, so it's all good. Um, so but anyway,
Wicks,
so
that's awesome.
yeah, so we got on this coffee tangent. What, 2/3 hot chocolate, 2/9 milk, and one
Yeah,
ninth
I love how
coffee?
specific that is. So Wicks, yeah, I stinking love you. You're so good. I love you. You're hilarious. And I am up that alley with you. I get it. That sounds pretty good. But
That's
hot chocolate
great.
has to be specific too. There are some bad hot chocolates and there are good hot chocolates.
That's true. That's
Some just
very
taste
true.
like chocolate and water together, and some taste like hot chocolate.
Right. I will try it. It
Mhm.
sounds delectable.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Especially those ninths. It's a really
Mhm.
good way to measure it out.
Mhm. Be like, not. But see, my brain, my neurotic, detail-oriented brain is gonna be like, is it exactly 1/9?
It
you
would
know?
be. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, all this was about the reflection that we want things to be done instantly, right? We want things to not take a long time, and we want to be able to fix things right away. And unfortunately, something like you're talking about is going to become a habit that you develop over time. And so the point I was making is, don't get discouraged in the when you're in the process, because it'd be easy to.
Mhm.
It'd be easy to get discouraged in the process. So it's okay. Understand you're on track. I think one thing that you can do that will help this maybe go a little bit faster, and maybe help you, even you may even be able to let go of some of it without processing it, is to spend time in silence and actively empty your brain. Because yes, you're going to have all these things coming in. You're going to have unprocessed thoughts like the TikTok feed. You're going to have all this coming through. And, to work through that is important, because it can help you clear it out, right?
Mm.
But if you can learn, that silence is your friend. Ryan mentioned, some people can't
Yeah.
handle being in silence. Like, they have to have the TV on, or they have to have
Yeah.
some kind of noise going in the background, you know. Oh, and it's okay to have like white noise or gray noise or pink noise or brown noise or whatever, like that. I would still count that as sitting in silence, but it's just not words or music or whatever, right? Just
Yeah.
nothing that's going to activate your brain, but it's just, you're sitting there in silence. Um, and if you can just sit there, it doesn't have to take long. You can do it for just even like 1 minute or 5 minutes or whatever, and sit, close your eyes, take some breaths, deep breaths, and just kind of focus on relaxing. Feel your body, feel the different areas of your body, actively relax them. So anytime you start to feel tension, you can relax it. If you have trouble with that, the thing that I find is, like, I will start at my feet, and I'll tense up my feet and my legs for a few seconds, and then I'll relax them just to feel the difference. So I know, okay, this is tense, this is relaxed. And if you're having trouble, like, I carry a lot of tension in my back and in my shoulders. And so I'll actively like pull my shoulders back and like tense the muscles in my back and my shoulders. And then actively just let them go. And this whole time taking some deep breaths. And then from there, try and focus just on your breathing. And you can count whatever. You can do box breathing, which is 4-second inhale, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, exhale, 4 seconds hold, right? And so they do this they say it's like a box. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, right? And, uh, one of the rules of thumb is like 4 seconds each, right? So 4 seconds inhale, 4 seconds hold, and then onward, on and on, right? Focus there. And as thoughts enter your brain, as this TikTok feed starts to infiltrate your mind, let those go. Actively say, sometimes I would even say it out loud, but I would say, thank you, you're dismissed. And then get back to being focused on my breathing. Another thought scampers into my head, and it's just like, thank you, you're dismissed. You don't want to fight against them, against the thoughts, because then that creates tension, it creates anxiety, and it creates, I'm doing this wrong, and no, you're not doing it. Just relax. It's okay.
Yeah,
And
if you
so,
fight the thoughts, you're engaging with them.
exactly. So I say, thank you, you're dismissed, and gently let those thoughts go. And I'll do this. And when I do it, it feel like when you're done, you feel clean. It's weird. Even if I haven't showered in a few days, like I'll feel clean, like because my brain is clean, right?
I don't need to shower. I meditate.
Right.
Don't tell me I'm stinky. I meditated this morning. You shut up. It's you.
Yes. So, but the point is, if you can learn to empty your head, sit in silence with no thoughts at all, that silence can kind of reset things a little bit. And when you come back to the world, you can come back with a sense of calm, with a sense of purpose. And the more you do it, the more you realize that you do have a choice of what thoughts you have. You can choose what you think about. And I think that's key. If you're going to think with intention, if you're going to focus and have intentional thoughts, it's key to recognize that you have a choice on what you think about. Many times we don't even know we have the choice, and so we just think about whatever's there. Or if we have some kind of pain, whether it's emotional pain, relational pain, some kind of dysregulation going on in our lives, it can cause us to lose sight of the fact that we have a choice about what we think about. And sometimes maybe we're grieving. Maybe we just went through something really, really difficult. Maybe we're in the middle of something really, really difficult. And so it's always on our mind. We wake up and we're thinking about this thing, and it's just always there because it's a source of pain in our lives. And in those moments, it's really, really hard to remember that we have a choice on what we think about. But ultimately, we do. And then it becomes a habit of choosing the thoughts that we want to have. Choosing with intention the things we think about. And so that's why it's important, like we talked about in the last topic, to discover, to do a little bit of introspection and figure out what we want our lives to look like. What kind of life do we want to have? And then we can think about that. And you can spend some time thinking about that life, the one you're shooting for. your dreams, your goals, your hopes, your aspirations, stuff like that. Sometimes, like a lot of times, the thing that wakes me up a lot of times, like mentally, is, I'll look at property because I have this dream. I want to have a big piece of property where we can put a whole bunch of houses on, and like the people that I care about, my friends and people I'm close to, we can all have houses on this property. We can all like have this little commune where we know we can feel safe and loved and secure and at peace, where you're not going to be judged, where you're not going to be, like looked down upon. You're going to be surrounded by people who are encouraging you and surrounded by people who love
Yeah, that's
you.
huge.
You know what I mean? What'd you say, Ryan?
I said, yeah, that's huge. Having like just that encouragement around
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of, yeah.
Yep. And so I'll sit there and I'll look at all these properties, and people will ridicule me because I'll find this like 487-acre parcel in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan with like over a mile of shoreline on Lake Superior, and it's like $2 million. And like people are like, "Oh man, well, that's never gonna happen," or "Only 2 million, huh?" Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, it's not about that. Like, all these things are possible. It's possible to make money. You just have to find the right vehicle, and you can get there, right? And maybe that's not the thing that turns you on, but that's the thing that kind of turns my mind on. It's just like, oh, this would be great, because then all these things come into my mind. It's like I can have my friends close to me, and we can share, with each other. We can share life with each other. And that to me is a dream of mine that I can go to, and it lifts my spirits, and it helps me to then realize, okay, now that I've looked at this, how do we get there? And then I can come up with plans on, okay, what are the vehicles I can use to get to that point? Okay, what do I need to do in those areas to get to that point? And sometimes you don't necessarily know all the answers, but that's okay, because you can figure them out. We figure out new stuff all the time. That's just another thing we can figure out. The problem is we get conditioned to think that it's not possible, or that that's too much, or that, whatever. But people have that kind of stuff because they intentionally focused on getting there. So you can spend time doing that, and it'll help you to feel better about your life, better about your situation. But then, so that was just an example of thinking with intention. And then when other things come in, when all pressures of life, relationship struggles, family struggles, friends that are causing problems, all that stuff, those will pop into your mind and mess with you. However, sometimes they need to be processed, but we don't necessarily always process things by ruminating on them.
Right.
Sometimes
Very
what we
true.
need to do is figure out the source. Maybe these things are caused by other pain that, maybe there are triggers going on that we don't even recognize yet, that we got to kind of dig into and figure out. There's all kinds of things that can cause us to have that kind of pain. But one of the things I learned is that the more you can detach, the better off you can kind of be. You will prevent a lot of suffering in your life if you can detach. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean detaching from the world or being a recluse, or being indifferent to the people around you and, just all that. No. What it means is like detaching yourself from having to control the world, because we don't control the world. We don't control the people around us. We can't. And so we just let those things happen. We detach from the outcome. And we detach from trying to control these things. And it can really lower your levels of anxiety when you learn how to detach. And seriously, one of the best ways I've learned how to detach is by taking time in silence, emptying my brain, and spending time just existing. Being in that present moment, breathing, and existing. And letting go. And then when you've done that for a while, you can kind of reset yourself. You reset your mentality and recognize it also strengthens your recognition that you get to choose your thoughts, like I said before, and brings a sense of peace and calm. And then when your brain is empty and you recognize you get to choose your thoughts, now thinking with intention is a lot easier. Focusing on the things that are important is a lot easier. And when you make it a habit to choose your thoughts and recognize that you can do it, thinking intentionally can become just as powerful as a habit as having a TikTok feed in your brain. It's just powerful in the opposite direction, because having a TikTok feed brain, now you're all spread out all over the place. You don't have any focus, and it's frustrating, and it's stressful, and it's anxious, and it's, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But being clear and focused and intentional, it's calm. It's peaceful. And you get a lot farther. You can accomplish a lot more. You can do a lot more. But it starts with developing that habit. And again, it's a habit, so it takes time to develop. Like Ryan said, it's not going to happen overnight. So when you screw up, or when you miss a day, or when you, whatever, and the old habits creep back in, it doesn't mean you're off track. It doesn't mean you're a failure. None of that. It just means you're learning. You are on track. And that's why I stress, a lot of times I'll only do it for like a minute or 5. Because it doesn't take long. I barely have 5 minutes in a day sometimes. Anyway. But doing that can become the most important 5 minutes of your day. Because then from that standpoint, you're clear, and then you can choose to think with intention. So I don't know. That's what I got. Hopefully that makes sense. Ryan, did you have anything else with regard to this topic?
I have one thing just to help make this a little bit easier for you. If you have a bathtub
Mm-hmm.
or a hot sauna or something,
Mm-hmm.
something you can just go sit in and relax, and you're kind of just on your own, that's a good place. It's a good activity. If you feel like, well, I can't just stand there, like just stand in my room. What am I supposed to do? Or sit in my bed. If I sit in my bed, I'm gonna fall asleep. I won't be able to think. If I sit in my bed, I can't think because I will be falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, yeah, some people like me. I'm blessed with Oh my gosh, I almost said amnesia twice. Okay, that's not it. Amnesia is not it. Blessed with insomnia. Blessed with insomnia. Because for me, I go to bed and I'm like, and I know, like, I'll be laying there and somebody like, okay, not falling asleep very quickly tonight. What do I want to think about? And then I'll be like, okay, well, I've got this on my mind. I've got this other thing. Oh, that would be interesting. What if I could think about that for a while and then I'll think about something, right? That wasn't always the case. Like, and that's not always the case. It depends on how practiced I am. And when I was little, I had no control, right? But over time, I developed the control to be able to, like, on most nights, if I'm having insomnia, which is rare now. Luckily, I'm
Mm,
blessed with that being the case.
lucky you.
It's a lot more rare. It's a lot more rare than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I think it's less than once a week, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'll be in bed and I'll be like, okay, not falling asleep. What do I want to think about? But most people can't do that. They get into bed, they fall asleep. It's like, fine. You have a bath. It's like, great. That's a great place to just sit in, and nice and warm. You're, kind of clean, and you can do your thing. I used to be someone who does that in the shower when I was a teenager. My brother and I both. It wasn't very good for the water bill, and got a lot of complaints. But my brother especially. My brother would get into the shower, and then like an hour go by, and we'd be like, "Hey, dude, are you okay?" But I was never, yeah. Anyways, but currently I don't have enough hot water in the tank. There's not enough water in the tank to do that. So um, I can't do that. I can't exercise that freedom anymore.
Mm.
But if you can, that'd be great. If not that, go find somewhere to sit in the sun, or something like that.
I live in
Even if
Michigan.
it's
We
just
don't have
walking.
that.
Oh yeah, you don't have sun in Michigan. You can go for a long walk. You can put your snow pants on and go for a walk around the block. And just commit. Like, I'm gonna go walk around the block. I'm just gonna go walk around the block. Doesn't matter how big your block is. Sometimes I know some blocks are huge, but regardless, like, I'm committed. I'm gonna go walk around this city block. It's gonna take like 30 minutes. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, that's perfect time to be thinking. And you're gonna be thinking anyways, because you don't have a choice now. You're out there on your own, just walking, and your brain is going to be firing. And like I said, at first it's going to be rapid firing randomness, and you don't have much control, and that's okay. That's where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
It's a starting place. Everybody has to deal with that. And then over time, eventually, as you go on these walks, something will, like, you'll be able to start thinking with intention. Especially as Joe said, if you can have things that you've put your mind to, like, I'm going to do this with my life, those thoughts will be like fruit just ready to be picked.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll be like on your walk and you'll be like, like, I'm walking, and some of it will come without you even asking. And be like, oh yeah, I've got this to do, that to do, and I can't wait to do this thing, and that will be really cool. But sometimes you might be in a position where you're like, I'm on my walk. What do I want to think about? Well, I think about ice cream. Oh, ice cream's pretty good. Why is this so good though? But actually, I think I've got some more important things to think about. I'm gonna figure out why this is, the case in this kind of industry I'm working at, and I'm gonna think about that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like easy, ripe fruit, ready to pick, and it's easy for you to think about it and focus on it and really dig through it within your own mind landscape. So find something you can do that doesn't require you to do anything. So like just going for a long walk, sitting in the bath, a jacuzzi, a hot tub, that sounds awesome. If you're a person who has the ability to sit in bed and not fall asleep, that's fine too. Though I feel like when people lay down, their brain kind of just shuts down and they can't do very good jobs. So that's probably not the place to do it. But I do know some people who say, I think my brother's wife is one of them. Says when she needs to think, she'll just go to the bed and sit there, and that helps her a lot. I think it's her. Maybe it's her. Anyways, doesn't really matter. There are people who think in the bed. Well, they go to the bed to think, and maybe that's you. So all I'm saying is find it in your regiment. It doesn't have to be daily, but something you do in the week, or maybe even daily, depending how fast you want to get through this and so on. And also depending on how much time you have in your life. Find something in your regiment to add that is something that requires you to do kind of nothing, and is a good time to just be relaxing and thinking. Going for a walk is relaxing. So, yeah. That's why a lot of people do the walking thing. A lot of people do the walking thing, and it's good.
Mm-hmm.
People say like walking is for your mind. It's like, yeah, it's pretty true.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to add. Just you can do this, and it might help a lot if you find some activity you can add into your life or whatever. That's like this, that allows you to participate in this and makes you feel good.
Yeah.
like a hot tub. Man, I really want a bathtub too. Man, that would be so nice. I wish we had a bathtub. I wish we
Yeah.
had like a hot tub or something. Like, oh man,
Oh, hot tubs are nice, especially when they're
I
hot.
know. Yeah, cold tubs? Nah, no thanks.
Cold tubs are
Never,
nice when it's
never
really
for
hot
me.
out.
Yeah, not for me. I'd
Yeah, I
still take the
know.
hot
I
tub.
know. Yes.
I know you know me. It's not my jam, but
Yeah. Oh, you
mhm.
called me Joe the Goat. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
nice. Thank you. That's very nice. Oh, I wanted to say, when you're doing this exercise, don't have your phone near you.
smart. Yes, because if you like literally,
Or
oh man,
silence it.
there's
And
this Catholic phrase, and that is to avoid the near. Hold on, Joe, you know it.
hmm?
Near occasion of sin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, avoid the near, flee, run from the near occasion of sin. Don't contest with it,
hmm
because contesting with it doesn't. You are engaging by contesting.
hmm
Like your phone might literally, like you'll have a thought, and that thought will lead you to opening up your phone to Google it,
hmm
and then you have lost an hour.
hmm True.
So
You don't even have to be on
agreed, Joe.
TikTok for that. You can just be like
Yeah.
looking at your text
Mm-hmm.
messages or something, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
that's most people in this world. That's why I said it. It happens. I
mhm,
think,
you're right.
like Joe said, avoid the near occasion of sin. And doesn't not that you're sinning, but you get the idea. Like you don't have your phone nearby because your phone will absolutely lead you into wasting your time in this kind of environment.
hmm
If you know something is going to do that, leave it be. Don't even carry it around with you. Could be your phone, could be a magazine or a book that you put like nearby. You're like, just in case I want to read it.
hmm
Like, yeah, but this is for this one thing. Like, it's like, oh, I'll just, maybe while I'm in the bathtub, I'll do my nails, that'll be fun. Hmm. Maybe you can do your nails, maybe you can take a bath and think, but I don't know. Like, if you feel like it's gonna distract you, it's probably not gonna be helpful to bring with you on the off chance that it distracts you from the goodness that can come out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's powerful stuff. Because you can retrain your brain. You can. It takes time. It takes developing the habit, but you can do it.
Yes.
And you'll feel better when you do it. It'll be good. Wick says, also, I don't know who this will help. I know that the poster doesn't have TikTok specifically, but maybe this will be useful. If you can't put your phone away all the time, but find yourself scrolling or wasting time on a lot of specific apps, put them all the way to the right on your phone in an app group with useless apps. Smart.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah, so you have to very consciously look for the app if you want to open it. Ah, and you may be jolted out of the doom scrolling haze. Yes. Doom scrolling is a real thing. I've caught myself in that so many times. Usually YouTube shorts, you know.
Yep.
That
Yeah, they'll get you. I
that
Yep.
that that has cost me hours of sleep at times.
Stupid. And,
Yeah,
what's terrible is you pretty much ask this to like anybody. Everyone will agree. You kind of get nothing out of it. Like
that's
you get to
true.
the end and you're like, what did I watch?
Yeah.
Like I can't like maybe I can name like three things at most. But the reality is I watched 100 things and I don't know 100. I don't know 50. I don't know 40, 30, 10. I know like one.
Mm.
This bad. This really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And then the next, like, then wait a day and then ask yourself, what do you watch? And you're like, I have no clue.
Uh-huh.
I was not even in my memory anymore.
I mean, how many
What's the
top
point of that?
5 dogs being silly videos can I, accumulate in my
Yeah.
brain? Or how many
Yeah.
top 5 babies doing cute things, or cats doing dumb things, or, people doing silly things. Now,
Yeah.
here, I have this terrible weakness. You guys are going to think bad of me. But I just have
Oh.
I have this affinity for fail videos.
I was knew you were gonna say it. Yeah, I thought it was like, I think I know what this is.
Like
The
people
ones where
wiping
people
out on a
hurt themselves.
surfboard, people doing
Yeah.
something that's, like fails. Like somebody doing something dumb and then they fall and hurt themselves. Yeah.
Mm.
So, uh, yep. I can't help it. I laugh. I don't even know why. It's just funny.
Yeah, you
Probably
don't know
because
why.
I've done so many of those things. It's stupid.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair.
And I'm just like, oh, I'm not the only one. Good.
Yeah, fair. It's relief. It's laughter from nervous relief.
Yes.
I thought I was stupid. Oh gosh, it's not just me. That's good. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Sometimes
hurts a
they
lot.
do. They do hurt sometimes. It's just like,
Yeah.
you landed like
Yeah.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
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 But yeah. Anyway, Anonymous, thank you so much for the topic. Thank you for sharing these, asking these questions. These are some deep things. And, there are other things that I can go on and on about, like, I mean, finding different audio, whether it's audio books or audios of things that you think might be able to be helpful for you. I do that too, where I come across audios a lot. Recently it's been like psychology, kind of like deep psychology from like Carl Jung and Alfred Adler. I think it's Alfred Adler. Um just trying to help rewire my brain, process things, whatnot. And
Mm.
so I'll listen to audios and
Yeah, that can be useful tool.
or audio books and whatnot. So um but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to listen and rewire your brain to how to think by
Mm-hmm.
listening to other people who have rewired their brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's super useful. But you do also still need to spend time in your brain
Yes.
space. So you
Yes.
need both are good to have.
Yes.
If you can do
Yes.
both, that'd be great.
Yes.
That'd be better for you.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes silence can be an enemy for me, especially if my brain, if I have the TikTok feed brain, or if I'm hyper fixated on something painful,
Mm,
my brain can be my worst enemy, right?
sure.
And I'm
Hmm.
not always able to just like meditate. But if I take a little bit of time, block out a few minutes to meditate, I find that to be a really, really helpful
Mm.
experience. So,
Yeah. Yeah, your
um,
brain is a tool and it can be used for your own destruction. It
yeah,
can also be used to build yourself up. But you
yeah,
have to have intention, and that's what you're trying to find. So I hope that you really can find that.
mm-hmm, absolutely. Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? A wise man suggested Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and it can help
Hmm.
focus and visualization. You're so right. That's such a great book. Um, Psycho-Cybernetics. It's it's a very intense read as far as, there's a lot of big words in there. And
Mm,
it was written by a doctor, you know. Um,
fair enough.
but yeah, it's a good one. A good one to help with stuff like that.
God is good indeed,
God
Jeff. That is
good.
right. God good. Uh-huh. Good God, God good.
Oh
That is
my.
now one of my best quotes.
Good God, God, good. Oh, I love it. All right. Well,
Amen.
we are
Amen.
it's 10:30 here. We're a half hour over.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys
30
got
minutes over. Yeah.
bonus 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Great, great topics,
Mhm.
Anonymous. We
Mhm.
appreciate you and we love you and we hope the best for you.
Yes.
And both of you or one of you, however this is,
Mhm.
matters not.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for the topics. And guys, if you have something you want to hear us talk about, or you want help going through, or whatever, you want some perspective or just some encouragement and love, go to don'tworrywednesday.com. Click the submit a topic button and submit the topic there. We would love to hear from you. You can hit us up on Discord, and yeah, that's it. So
Awesome.
thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. We love spending time with you guys. It's That's why we
Yeah.
do this show every week. You know, it's I mean, Ryan and
You
I
guys are
can
great.
sit and talk, and that's great. And you know, but it's a lot of fun hanging out with all you guys. So
Agreed.
yeah, bonus time, yay! Awesome. So yeah, but we'll be back next week, and on Wednesday, unless it's
Or
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever day it is for you. And
Hmm.
until next time, take good care of yourselves and the people around you, and remember that we love you and we want the best for you. So enjoy your
Hmm.
week, and we'll see you next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. We love you guys.
But no.
Bye
Peace.
bye.